One Piece curious.
I would definitely say if you have a One Piece fan friend, go with them.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm a little more middling on it. I'll be honest. Like, just to get to, we're leading towards the climax here. By this point in the movie, I was like, okay, now we're moving into the climax. The climax is literally 50% of the movie.
Yeah.
More.
Like Super Broly?
Like Super Broly?
Bruh.
Like Resurrection F? Where it was 75%? That has so much less plot than this.
What are we doing
What are
here?
you talking about here? That's literally Broly.
Dude, the fighting from the second the fight starts to the end of the movie is no less than 50% of the movie. It's like 40 straight minutes.
But here you got people at least going, we're going to try to fight this dude. As opposed to Vegeta just going, okay, I guess my turn is over now.
Tired. I got
Oh my
tired.
God.
So
Yeah.
I'd say.
But you didn't get tired in Broly?
How, Lanny?
When you got at least people teaming up and a bunch of different powers.
People you've never seen before teaming up. You will never see the revolutionary and the world government teaming up for something like this.
There's no reason why we should believe that we're ever going to see Boa Hancock and Buggy in the same room again.
No reason at all.
So you got that plus the fantastic team ups. Plus sitting there just going, okay, literally, how are they going to beat this dude? As opposed to go Super Saiyan Blue. Are we going to mention Ultra Instinct? Are we going to mention that sparkly blue form? I guess not. So you just got questions there. And just fight. Punch, kick, blast. Smoker's not shooting fire. We know what he can do.
Tired. I got
Oh my
tired.
God.
So
Yeah.
I'd say it's worth a watch. Probably not in theaters.
I don't know. Seeing it in theaters is pretty crazy.
Okay, to be fair, there is a level of energy you get in a movie theater that might actually boost it for you. But for me, this is, I don't know. I probably wouldn't watch it again. This is something I probably wouldn't watch again.
How
I
many
would
times did
say
you watch Broly?
watch it
A lot.
if you're like in an anime club, like on college or high school, something like that.
Yeah.
I'd watch it with a group of people.
Yes.
Because there are so many hype moments. We could hear people around us getting hyped.
Oh, yeah, the
multiple
guys-
Why y'all
times.
sitting there with your arms folded?
There's a certain energy that you feel all that energy and you're just going, why are they so energetic? I'm tired.
I'm tired. What? So you're feeling the energy and you're not receiving the energy. You're just going, well, I don't.
It's literally bouncing off of you.
People around us getting hyped.
Oh, yeah. The
multiple
guys in the back
times.
row, they were like super psyched.
Yeah.
Anytime
Oh my
something
God.
happened, they're like, yeah. I'm like,
They were
I'm glad they're having fun.
Exactly.
They were adorable, honestly.
So-
like every moment hit them exactly as they wanted it to.
Watch
Which
this.
is what I know that for
Yeah.
a One Piece fan, definitely thumbs up, see it. If you don't give a crap about One Piece, obviously, like, no.
Don't see it alone. If you don't care about
Yeah.
One Piece, don't see it. But if you have friends that care about it, go just for them.
Yeah.
Like, because it's this is on the this is kind of on the
Because every moment you're gonna be like, who's that? What's his power? Supernovas, what's that? Worst generation, what do they mean?
Okay.
Oh, they're already moved on to other things?
If this is your One Piece friend's second viewing and you're doing it at home, I can see that.
But see, now you're just adding all
Yes,
these
you have
caveats.
to add layers.
If
'Cause
you're not a One Piece fan, don't
probably
don't
not gonna
watch
like-
it.
You're probably not gonna like this.
Don't watch it, because it's super weird.
I can't say if you're not a One Piece fan because you could become a One Piece fan off this movie.
I don't think so.
I do.
think it's way too much.
I think if you get captured by like 2 or 3 characters, you're in there.
But what if one of those characters is Mihawk? Where you get to see him combined, 4 times throughout the series?
But it's enough to make you want to read more of the series.
I don't think so.
Or check out more. Even if you just go on YouTube and go Mihawk scenes. Whatever.
But then at that point, you're not really a fan. You're just going Mihawk scenes. I did that with a bunch of stuff. I did that with My Little Pony, where I was just In the beginning, I was like, I like Fluttershy scenes. Why did we both do this?
I don't know. Nobody can see it.
Yeah.
Like, because it's this is kind of on the level of someone starts singing the Pokemon theme, like the original, and then everyone chimes in.
Yeah.
It's that level of energy that I can see from this happening.
While y'all sit in the middle with your arms folded,
Tired. Old people.
just on the bus, man, will they shut up? I'm so tired.
Where's the narrative?
So,
And the movie knows it. They know when to kick in. We are.
oh god,
Oh my God.
even I was like, oh, I'm getting bumps.
Yeah. So they this movie actually did a lot with its music. I love the music from One Piece. Let me tell you.
I felt like its opening theme was a bit meh.
Yeah, I mean,
but
a little bit. But
Yeah.
I love the One Piece music. I love its OST. The movies always introduce these really great pieces. But yeah, so
yeah, you're basically getting 2.5 stars here out of 3. So
Yeah.
it's I think it's a worthy watch if you're a fan. But now we'll move on to the actual spoilers of this climax where Usopp, he's like doing
Firing
his
his
thing,
little seeds,
and,
and then-
he's been stating like this entire time, I'm a sniper, I'm here for support. You know, that whole thing. And
He hasn't said that
Nami,
once.
a sniper is from the.
It was a offhanded joke of why aren't you in the fray with them? And he goes, I'm a sniper, I'm a support, and you're a coward. And, he goes,
And that was fantastic.
and it was a one-off thing until he brings it back.
Because you could just look at Nami and just go, why aren't you out there? And she would have a similar reaction. It's all about being cowardly
I'm too cute.
and not strong. That's all that line was until they brought it back fantastically.
that whole thing. And
Yep.
Come on, Nami. A sniper is from the distance. We give.
we're here for support, and
Yeah.
it's an important motif, and it actually pays off. I'll be honest.
Yeah, there are literally seeds planted in this scene, and which I knew it was going to happen.
Of course.
Like,
Yeah.
the moment, and I kind of wish, I mean, okay, from a movie telling standpoint, it was good that they showed one of the seeds sprouting to crush the finger, because that tells you, oh, that's what that ability can do.
That's what he's doing.
And
He's
he shot a
doing,
bunch
he's
of
doing
them.
Kurama shit.
So we were all sort of waiting for when that would pay off, and it literally takes the next, like, it is at near the end of the climax to where that pays off.
Those scenes have great
I
timing.
think
You
it is
forget
the right
about it.
amount of time, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's enough time that you've, like we said, this climax is like 30 minutes long. It's enough time that you've forgotten about that whole scene, that when it pays off, it's like, oh yeah, he did that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, a lot of the scenes with the admittedly all right CGI monster,
We'll get to that.
was
Nah, I wasn't a fan.
like it was all in browns and dark
Purples.
blues and purples, so
Yeah.
that
It was hard to
I could
distinguish
barely tell
figures.
what was
Yeah.
part of him and what was just texture.
We need to talk about the CG in this movie,
Oh, boy.
because it's not terrible. It's not even
It's way
bad.
better. It's way better than Res F was.
Oh,
several
yeah,
years ago.
Res F was like, so Battle of Gods was one of the.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier to do a big monster as opposed to people.
Yeah. Res F looked hideous.
Yeah, somebody was just like, hey, the new DBZ Budokai game looks great. And they showed 2 stills of it. I'm like, ooh. Was it really that bad? But yeah, I thought that was fine. You obviously need... CGI isn't there yet, where you can do the big monster as convincingly as you want to.
Yeah, in animation, definitely not.
But all things considered, what they did, fine.
It worked.
Res F was.
Yeah,
several years ago.
Res F was like, so Battle of Gods was one of the first times I'd actually seen full-on CG in any of my classic shonen shit. Like, from Dragon Ball to One Piece, like, I was like, oh shit, they're using CG. It was really bad in Battle of Gods. It was somewhat better in Resurrection F.
No, it wasn't.
It is acceptable.
It's
But
fine.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's like a third of the animation in this movie, because they have these huge dramatic set pieces. They have all these characters running on screen, and it's just so jarring. I can't like, and I know the kids.
It's not Berserk level bad though.
Yeah, no, kids are going to love
not
it,
too much
and I
you
know
can do
that the
about
kids
that.
are going to love it, because ultimately what they're going to see is these huge things happening with all these characters running. They're not going to care that there's a difference between the 2D traditionally animated characters and the 3D animated characters. But for somebody who grew up with this shit, it is really jarring. And he has Ace's fire powers now
Because he got the devil fruit from the Dressrosa tournament.
yes, because more spoilers, but if you're watching this, you really should know this. Ace is dead.
Yep.
Ace.
Didn't they give a hint, a little bit of a hint to him at the very, very end?
Yes, actually, and it was kind of weird the way they did it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we'll
No.
go into that.
Yeah.
But so
Pause. That was fantastic the way that they did that. I'm not a particular fan of Ace nor Sabo,
Same.
but that was fantastic. They set up the girl who could create images from a picture, and then they did it with Ace and Sabo and the fire, and it's like, okay, not all of that is real fire, but they think it's real fire because Sabo can't do that, so that's giving them an opportunity to get away. Plus, you got a nice little double pose sort of thing. That was fantastic. Again, not a big fan of either of them. I loved that.
we'll go into that.
Yeah.
But,
Another one of those fan
So
servicey
it's
things.
So at this point, the actual plot details hardly matter at all.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just becomes
It's just a big
giant,
clusterfuck fight.
yeah, and
Like
it's
Broly.
basically
Broly.
just all of them trying to figure out how the fuck are we supposed to fight this dude.
And Law has a plan. He's like, okay, I'm going to cut open his armor. At this point, we need you to do this. And Law at this point has teamed up with Crocodile because the B team met up down there, and that didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And so, except to add Crocodile to the ranks.
I want to say, for as much as we equate this to the old Broly movie, I actually think that this movie did the ultimate fight, the ultimate, the
climax.
strongest, the climax, the best.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically because they came up with a plan. In
Yeah,
Broly,
it-
it literally was, everyone give
Everybody
me your energy.
Give Goku
Yeah.
your energy, and it'll be done.
And I'm like,
no, in this one, it's okay.
Pause.
Everybody's going to do.
No crap. Are you telling me that it's better when 6 to 7 people are actually doing something as opposed to just getting swatted away like they're nothing? There's no difference between Piccolo getting swatted away and Vegeta getting swatted away. It was just, oh, they're just getting hit. Here you got all these people actually doing stuff, plans. You got Boa who's kicking this out of them. It was just like Boa is mad strong. Buggy is not, but Buggy can fly. You got that going on as opposed to Piccolo, Vegeta, Gohan, Trunks. They're trying, they're failing. Repeat.
Give your energy to Goku.
And then he'll just win.
Just punch
No,
him.
give your energy to Goku, and then he doesn't win, but for some reason when Vegeta gives him his energy, that's when he wins. Even though he was getting beaten up with the other people's energy. So is Vegeta just that much stronger than everybody else, or is it a Saiyan rival boost? Or
Why didn't they do that in the Tournament of Power? After people get eliminated, they just
Yo!
Yeah.
Be done.
And
But
I'm like,
no, in this one, it's okay. Everybody's going to do their part to chip away his shell, and
Absolutely.
then Luffy's going to deliver the big
Fantastic.
fucking elephant gun,
Yeah.
massive King Kong bullet blow.
And it took that much time. Like
Extravaganza.
it took a good 5-10 minutes for them to actually come up with the plan and then execute it and then have everything fall into place. It wasn't just boom, it's done, okay, final punch, go. Like it took time to build it up.
Yeah, and again, I can't stress that the animation in this movie is off the fucking chain. Like they've been talking about this movie for a while, and I know some people erroneously, and if I can be honest, foolishly keep trying to compare this movie and Super Broly. They're two movies to try to accomplish different things.
They're super different.
Yeah. And people need to stop comparing them. You can like both.
He compared them. So, I think it's fair to compare them.
I think it's fair to compare everything.
Absolutely.
Nothing-
Nah, not everything.
What's not?
There are things in different genres. Like you can compare one anime to another, but I can't compare. Let's say
It's something like a romance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No. Well, even then, you can still compare on voice acting and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. But it's not a direct one-to-one comparison. I think this is a direct one-to-one comparison that you can
Absolutely.
make.
Especially they're both Toei creations. They're both
Long-running shonen series. They're both basically spectacles. Yeah. No, I think it's 100% fair to make comparisons.
You can compare Terminator and RoboCop. whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what they're trying to accomplish. I don't even understand what you mean. Let's see what they understand. What they mean by that.
People are comparing all the Jokers right now, even though the Joaquin Phoenix Joker is not like the other Jokers in the slightest.
And you shouldn't even put the Adam West one into the talk because that's something completely different. But it can be compared because they're Jokers.
Why would you put Mark Hamill in there? He's just the voice.
Can the two Brolys not be compared because they're trying to accomplish something different? Even though they're both named Broly, if that's the case, why not just name them something different? Why not just have a whole new saying? No, because you're trying to invite those direct comparisons.
Battle of Gods was a lot of fun downtime character stuff. Can we not compare it to the rest of the movies because there's a lot of just action with the main characters?
Like both. They're both good movies.
I think
personally,
Broly's better.
personally, I liked Broly better, but I've also have a personal attachment more to Dragon Ball than I do to
That
One
is
Piece.
also
Yes.
fair.
And I also legitimately believe that out of the two of them, one had a simpler plot that was better delivered, while this one had a super convoluted and actually no,
Which
the plot-
is
Pause! How was this convoluted? You just said...
Nah, it is convoluted. It's not complicated and it's not complex, but it's convoluted.
There's three moving parts. The festival, Buena Festa going, I want to make this my era via Bullet, and Bullet going, I want to survive a Buster call. What's convoluted? What's complicated?
We still have undertones of the laugh tail log pose thing.
Okay. That leads you to One Piece. Done.
No. It's not that it's not understandable. It's just that it's convoluted. Convoluted just means there's a lot of parts moving.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not necessarily a bad thing because One Piece, the story of One Piece itself is convoluted. It's not a inherent negative. They're framing it as a negative though. Simpler plot does not equal good. What are we doing here? Strong World was a much simpler plot. I don't think it's the best One Piece movie.
But I just wanted to say Broly sucks.
Frieza, you know what? Battle of Gods was super
Resurrection
convoluted.
F was a simpler plot.
Absolutely, it sucked. Battle of Gods was super convoluted. They had to learn how to do the ritual. They had to do the ritual. They had to get the fight. There was the subplot of getting the Dragon Balls from the party. There was the subplot of Vegeta trying to keep Beerus calm. Battle of Gods is way more convoluted than Broly, but it is the best Dragon Ball Super movie by far.
I don't understand what they mean by convolution versus simplicity. Is that just how they feel? Is that an overarching thing that they feel about everything? Is it simpler equals better, or is this was too convoluted and that one was simpler and safer?
Also,
but I thought it couldn't be compared.
I was just about to say that. Why are you comparing them?
Simpler plot that was better delivered. Well, this one had a super convoluted and actually no,
which is paper thin at the end of the day.
yeah,
But
it
was
is
very
paper thin,
convoluted.
but it is so involved and so crazy and so
Like, everybody's involved. There's the underworld people that are involved in it. There's the Navy.
That's One Piece. There's always stuff happening. Right now we're in Wano, and there are 2 to 3 things happening that we're not seeing.
As opposed to in Broly, you don't even say Gohan's name.
There's so much going on in One Piece. Always. So there's so much going on in this movie. There's so many parts in One Piece. You can't just go, they need a simpler plot. That doesn't make sense for One Piece. Even the simple plot of get Nami back, there was, he's from this, he's from there, he's the only person that escaped Impel Down, blah, 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 all this other crap surrounding it. Unbelievable.
But Broly he's simpler and better executed.
Why? Because him sad boy?
Him a sad boy for some... And it doesn't come into play. And then he just got Chile, and who cares? And it's really not better executed. It's just even if it was, the fact that it's simpler means that it can be better executed, easier. Because with a bunch of plots coming together, you got to tie them all together. You got to make them work with each other, as opposed to this dude wants revenge on this dude for his father. Fight.
There's the underworld people that are
Yeah.
involved in it. There's the Navy. There's we have to tie everything in here.
If we're being honest, though, it is not. To be fair, it's actually not overcomplicated, because what it really just comes down to is, here are good guys, here are bad guy, good guy,
Yes.
bad guy, good guys fight bad guy beat them up.
But they had
Then
to
try
add the
again.
extra pieces to it to make it seem more complicated.
That kind of goes to what I was gonna say, is that where New Broly, like, I think New Broly and Stampede do well in their combat animations in two
Why are you
different ways.
comparing them?
Broly is micro-focused. It is 3 guys,
Yeah.
sometimes 2. And because of that, the scope is so much shrunk that, like, the fine detail of that kind of animation, that fight,
It's
that's
4
what makes it
guys.
superb. This is a macro. Like, one of the things that I really loved was when Luffy's fists were literally going all over the place, in and out of the camera. It is a macro fight, not only because of the style of how everyone fights, but because there's so many people in this fight. That's
Pause.
why...
No, because it needed to be, because he's a huge villain that they need to fight. If Luffy took him out by himself, that'd be so unrealistic.
And unrewarding. I wouldn't enjoy it.
So you need all these strong people, and we know that they're strong outside of Buggy because of the things they've done, their status. We know that they're strong. So
And
they're
the
all
thing
coming,
the announcers told us.
and they're all coming together to help take down this big villain. As opposed to, here's this big villain where, for all intents and purposes, they should be ganging up on him, but they're just not. It would have...
You want to talk about convoluted? Goku and Vegeta don't fight together just for reasons.
Just for reasons.
Until, him too strong, we gotta fight together.
And then they fight together for a minute, and then they teleport away. And then Frieza fights them for a couple of hours. And survives until they come back. And he's still angry for those 2 hours.
The style of how everyone fights, but because there's so many people in this fight. That's why this animation really shines through. It's not really the fine detail, it's how much is going on in this freaking movie at one time.
I'm actually going to counter that a little bit. It's not so much that, like, Broly is micro-focused, which it is, and I agree with that. But it's more so that it's not a movie about Goku and Vegeta. It is a movie about Broly. Broly is the protagonist in that movie.
That's fair. That's fair.
He's the one that goes on the hero's journey. He has the train, like, he has his origin, he has his training, he has his the death of his mentor, quote unquote, and he has the going to, like,
We have his past. Hold on, I'm going with Bullet. We have his past. We have the death of his rival. And we have his I've been training. What are we doing here? It was just more focused on Broly. I understand that aspect. Though.
But what does Broly want other than to do his father's bidding?
Yeah.
You can't say that he's the protagonist in that way.
He's definitely the protagonist. He's just a protagonist with no goal.
So you got all that other stuff, but then it's like Ichigo. It just stops right there. Protect friends and kill person because father want.
Technically, you could say the same for Yusuke. But he's just awesome.
Sure. But in that way, Yusuke was always more of like a do what he wants to do type of person. And
I feel like Ichigo the same way, though. He just sucks as a character.
I don't think so. Because he went to school. Did he
wanted to.
necessarily
Because
like
remember,
the
he
school?
was smart. You don't remember that Ichigo was doing really well on tests? Yeah, he was doing really well on tests. He was the smart kid. He was a smart
I
kid.
don't remember that. Was that manga stuff? Because they did cut out a nice chunk of it in
The anime. Maybe they did, but it was before he even became a Soul Reaper. It was just like, oh, Ichigo is one of the top kids in the class.
Oh, so that sounds like a sentence.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely just real.
Yeah, so I can't be expected to remember that when once you get to the 1,000-year blood, where you tell me who Rukia is.
But yeah, he was a smart kid. I think he enjoyed school.
We don't know enough about his character.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
He just sucks as a character. But yeah, Broly is just a protagonist with no goal. And that's not necessarily better. Because at least our antagonist has a goal. So Broly is just fighting to fight. He's just told, go fight them. Oh, okay, got you, Dad. What's left after that?
And again, we didn't see his trainings. We were just told he trained just like bullets, so it's not really too big of a difference.
And why is he so strong?
Why? Why didn't we know about him?
His return to his peaceful place. He didn't actually win throughout that, but it was his hero's journey throughout that entire movie. Whereas this didn't really have a protagonist.
Well, it's because it didn't have much of a story.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this: weakest part of the film is Douglas Bullet.
Yes, I agree.
And look, he's really cool. He's really intimidating. His voice, his regular old speaking voice, that's Damon Mills. That was. I don't know if you know Damon Mills. He's the guy who stood in for Chris Ayres as Frieza when Chris Ayres was
to hear
too
this
sick.
juxtaposition is crazy.
Yeah,
You know?
I've heard him do
mad
high
range.
voices. You know, he usually does voices around here. He does teenagers.
Guy's brimming with talent. He's great.
And then he comes down here, and I'm like, oh my fucking he does.
If you see this man, you would not be able to correlate that voice to that character.
I mean, he does a spot-on impersonation. I mean, spot-on of Damian Clark's Cell. Like, in fact, that's how I got to know him. Is that back in the day he was doing these really cool little fan dubs where it was remarkable. But so I wasn't too surprised. I was like, I knew he could go deep. I am not wholly convinced they didn't pitch mod him.
Well, to be fair, when he's the island, there's that massive...
Or even the mech.
Yeah, but I'm talking about normal ass.
Yeah.
And to that regard, I cannot stress Douglas Cool is a cool-looking, cool-sounding villain.
Dougie Cool.
Yes.
You said Douglas Cool.
You said Douglas Cool.
Sorry. Douglas Cool Bullet. Douglas C, as they like to call him in school. Dougie C. Douglas Bullet is one of the cooler sounding, looking, and feeling villains out of a lot of these movies. But he's also easily 100% one of the most shallow. And that sucks because if you saw the last 3 movies, it really kind of sucks because like the last 3 movies,
I think it's because this is more of a celebration of One Piece as opposed to a let's introduce this new big villain.
It's more of a spectacle. There's, like they said, it's way too many moving parts. And what if, he was an ex-slave and this and this. Y'all be like, this is even more stuff added on.
Yeah, it would be.
To Zoro, it was an island. It was a gold island. He was an ex-slave. You can put that in there because there's not as much going on. There's not as many characters. But that would make this feel way, way too much. And again, I would prefer it, but...
But you were already tired, Lanny.
You can't have both! You can't, make a better villain and also, hey, let's wrap this up.
One Piece movies had some of the best movie villains. And then you got this guy. And it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, Scott, tell him about how they beat him.
Oh, I love this part. They do the most cliche fucking thing. After they do that whole convoluted plan, and then we get Usopp's payoff.
It's attack a weak point until Luffy powers up.
Let's all attack this weak point at once instead of attacking various points of his body and doing nothing. We are 6 or 7 super strong dudes. Let's combine our forces until that dude with the big fist can big fist him.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Convoluted plan, and then we get Usopp's payoff when he is the mech again, and his arm gets shattered. And he's finally out of his ship, and Luffy and he are just having their Muda Aura fight.
Yeah, okay. By the way, I gotta stress this. Oh my god, so
Please don't say
I
animation.
don't know if anyone on the writing staff either knew or cared how Luffy's powers actually work. But he exhausts. There is no way he should have any strength after the big takedown of the giant form. Because the giant form literally requires everybody to utilize 100% of their abilities and then some. And Luffy does one of the biggest punches he's ever done in all of One Piece just to finally land the finishing blow on the giant form.
Yeah, to knock him out of his armor. Basically.
Okay.
But couldn't you argue that him powering up and him not just going straight into it was so he wouldn't get worn out?
Mm-hmm. And then after that, the fight lasts 2 minutes.
If even that. They're just kind of punching each other.
I can see it.
I mean,
he lands a big punch, and then they fight for a while, and then that's it.
There's literally no reason he should have been able to land that last Jet Gatling against Lucci. He was through.
But that was everything he had.
He did everything he had left.
So yeah, that's not a big problem.
I understand the problem with it, but it can also be explained away. If you're just going, he shouldn't have been able to, you can explain it. Well, maybe he did it this way, which is an assumption. But they show it in the movie that he gears up for a while, as opposed to just going big old fist. I'm gonna wear myself out.
To knock him out of his armor. Basically.
Okay. I would even say that even then he should not have any. He shouldn't even have the ability to do that, because after he got the floor wiped, after Bullet wiped the floor with him, as long as with everyone else, like even what was it? Even I think Usopp was like, he's lost a lot of blood. I'm like, he should be dead.
Yeah,
that anime logic.
No, I know that.
But we did have a small conversation with another big fan of this movie afterwards, and he was saying like, doesn't he normally need 15 to 20 minutes to recharge after using Gear 4? And they like movie logic. You just kind of
wouldn't that be when Usopp was carrying him? Wouldn't that be the 5 minutes after Gear 4? After the first time Bullet knocked him out?
He tried to do Gear 4. He got knocked down, and then he met Sabo and Boa and all of them.
And they all sat around talking for a while.
What's the problem?
And
he doesn't have one punch, and then he got to back up.
Even in Whole Cake, after Snake Man and all that, he wasn't just like it was in Dressrosa, where he's just laid out, I can't do anything for 5 minutes. So you could say that he's building his hockey based on what we've seen.
Again, not a problem.
like movie logic, you just kind of have to understand that they're skipping with that. So he goes into this massive fight at the end, and he's like, "I'm the strongest there is. I don't need anybody." That's not true. You have a friend. And he's like, "Oh,
No, that's not what he said.
That's not at all
That's
what
not
he
what
said.
happened.
But he was just so tired. He just went, cliche, whatever, punch, whatever.
That's not what he said. He said, you can't do anything without friends, without somebody to look towards. And then he remembered Roger, and he remembered what Roger said, which was more friendship than you piece of bullet, get off my ship. It was, I'll fight you anytime you want, bullet. And in that moment of remembering,
Luffy got a cheap shot and then beat him up. He did not win.
He did Dale's pocket sand in his face and punched him and then just went, yeah.
Luffy was not stronger nor better than Bullet. He got a lucky punch and then he got a bunch of punches. And that's what took him out. Punch to punch, blow to blow, Bullet's winning. But he took him off guard, and that's fantastic. It's better than Gogeta just going, here comes the biggest blast. Because I'm stronger than you.
I don't need anybody. That's not true. You have a friend. And he's like, oh, I did have a friend. And then he just gets punched in the face and he's done.
And it had a whole flashback and everything.
That's not how it happened. He got punched in the face, and then Luffy punched him multiple times.
That's not how it happened.
Why are you just saying like he got punched in the face and he was
He
knocked out?
got punched in the stomach once and exploded. Are we just doing this where we're comparing stuff, or can we not compare? Because there's a reason for that.
Everything. So, throughout this entire movie, It is acknowledged that he is a member of Gold Roger's crew.
That
But they
Roger
never-
beat him, and then he's like, "Fine,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep fighting you anyway."
Roger beat him, so he's like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to go do my own thing. And then it's never brought up again until...
No, they keep flashing back to that one scene of Roger until he finally remembers the dialogue Roger actually said to him.
Why are they either misremembering that, forgetting it, or ignoring it?
That Roger scene is seen 2 to 3 times before that dialogue is said. Before that, I'll fight you anytime you want. I want to see how strong you get. Dialogue is said. So you can't just go, oh, they mentioned he's a member of Roger's crew, and then nothing else after, because we had several things after.
And that also leads credence to Bullet's development, because this whole time he's just thinking, Roger, this piece of just beat me and then smiled and laughed at me. Oh no, actually he said something kind of nice. Punch to the face.
Up again until this fight happens. First of all, how does Luffy know? I mean, he might have
That's a
known
good
that
question.
He might have known that he was part of his crew.
What? Luffy knows he had a crew.
He had to.
And if you know someone has a crew, they have friends.
At least one person that they could talk to on that crew. Didn't they say that Blackbeard was pretty cool before he went on Murder Snap?
Nobody suspected it because he was a pretty cool dude.
So the fact, I think that Bullet even went, I had a crew, but I don't need them anymore.
Yeah, when they were yelling at each other, it was just like, I don't need a crew. I don't need anybody.
So it's just Luffy, who's only had friends and people that he likes and trusts around him, going, you obviously had somebody that you either liked or trusted. What's wrong with that?
Luffy, no. I mean,
Pause. How did Goku know that Broly was a good person and didn't want to be doing this when he did his dumb hold into place thing?
He felt it in him, in his presence.
Is that what we're doing?
And I guess that's what we're doing.
Because there was nothing there. It was just Broly attacked, and then he attacked. And he didn't say a word until the ending.
First of all, how does Luffy know? I mean, he might have.
That's a
known
good
that
question.
He might have known that he was part of his crew at some point. He might have been told, like, in fact, I'm
You would
pretty
have
sure.
never
at some
gotten
point-
where you are if you didn't have a friend. He's like,
Law didn't tell him, did he?
I mean, somebody probably told him at some point that, oh, hey, that's one of Gold Roger's crew. Luffy wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But it's here. It's here that he uses it as emotional leverage against Douglas Bullet, saying, you would never have gotten as far as you did without your crew.
Yeah, he did the same thing with Arlong. Way back when. This is what Luffy does.
What's the problem here?
I can't lie. I can't navigate. I can't use swords. I can't cook. But I got people that can do that. And without them, I'm gone. I'm not leaving, Sanji, because without you, I can't become the Pirate King.
What's the... I seriously don't know what the issue is, other than them just going, it's cliche.
Like, you're good, Broly, for real, though?
You're actually nice. Oh, he's got a soft heart. It's basically Tarzan and Jane.
Out your crew. And it's like, first of all, how do you even know that?
Yeah.
Second of all, fuck you. Fuck you, movie.
The fact that it was like, oh, I did have a friend. He just gets punched in the
Yeah.
face, and
Yeah.
that one singular. This is the.
All
by
it
the way-
takes is a second. If a boxer loses focus for a second, they get punched in the face. It's not hard. He stopped focusing on the battle for 1 second while
As this dude is punching at the speed of light.
and he got punched in the face. What is there to understand?
What's there to complain about?
One singular. This is the. By the way, the first punch that really lands on him. And it's just done.
Yeah.
Glass cannon.
It's not done.
He did a a Gear 4 Gatling.
Gold Gatling.
So he did what he did against Doflamingo times 100. After he got a lucky shot on him, thus breaking his defenses, and he's just done. What's the issue here? Cell, he got distracted for a second and then got blasted away. Is that an issue? Cause that's the exact same thing.
Well, he black and whites him. What can you say?
Yeah,
that punch is really okay. So
It's a really strong punch.
One of my favorite things in anime is when something hits somebody so hard that things just go black and white. It goes to the goddamn
fades out.
Yeah, it goes sketchy at that point. It's a beautiful shot. It calls back to one of the most satisfying in the entire series during when he hits one of the dragons, celestial dragons, when he punches that motherfucker, and it's glorious. We see this hit go down, and it's a great dramatic finish, but it doesn't feel it.
You didn't do the voice. Dramatic finish.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I loved a lot of this movie. It's a beautiful movie.
He didn't just hit him once. Why are y'all? Is this like? There's certain times where I'm like, I barely remember something, and then somebody says, "This is how it happened." I'll go, "Okay, I guess it is how it happened." Is this just like Lanny going, he hit him once, and they just go, "Oh, I guess he just hit him once"? Because if you remember, when I think back to Lucci versus Luffy, the final punch, I remember two things. I remember the close up on Lucci's face where he gets punched, and then Luffy leaning forward and punching him. If I would just remember the one punch, I'd be like, oh, I guess he just punched him once and then he just was done. But that's not how it happened at all.
Definitely.
So I think this is just Lanny, them not remembering because they were tired or just bored or just not into it or whatever. And Lanny just going one punch and you go, oh, I guess it was just one punch. When it was a bunch of punches.
This is one of the least earned victories. I mean, again, it's the victory against the giant form.
He got lucky. What's the problem?
After all of these people ganged up on him, after Usopp's planet Seed, he still just got a lucky punch.
He wasn't stronger. He wasn't better. He wasn't faster. He's not smarter. Nothing. He got lucky when he broke his defense for a second. He got in his mind. As opposed to just going, we fused, I'm literally stronger than you. There's nothing that you can do.
My number just became larger.
I'm just gonna kill you now until you teleport away. What is the issue with just getting lucky? It's not like Usopp got lucky. He still had the strength behind it. But he caught him off guard by breaking his whole world philosophy. I'm the strongest that there is. I don't need anybody. Okay, but what about Roger, though? You needed to be stronger than him. Ah, crap.
Was awesome. Seeing, again, we didn't cover this much. Usopp hit the seeds that he shot, come back and destroy. It's actually really cool.
He destroys the mech, and Usopp's like, what I tell you,
all right,
are there for
I have to mention something. This drove me insane.
Okay.
Yeah,
when
please.
Nami was like, we have to trust and put our faith in Luffy, I'm like, piss off, woman.
Yeah, why?
God.
Why is everybody giving Luffy? Why is everybody trusting in him exactly?
Why is his crew trusting their captain?
When they went up against the world government, Yonko, all these other things where Luffy said, let me handle this, and he literally did. They have no reason not to trust him outside of Shabaodi, where it was just such overwhelming force.
And Luffy didn't say, let me handle this. He said, run!
And they did.
Everybody giving Luffy. Why is everybody trusting in him exactly?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah, pause. Okay, who else is there? You either go trust in Luffy or you run.
And you see this dude with this giant fist coming, and it's like, Smoker's like, all right, Straw Hat's just gonna big punch him. Boa Hancock loves him, so of course she's gonna do it. Buggy doesn't want to be there, and of course Sabo is gonna trust him.
What's the issue in trusting Luffy? When every time it's just like, wait for Goku.
Every time. One arc was literally, let's sit around for 3 hours and see if Goku shows.
Again, Luffy gets stuff done.
Definitively. He has never went, let me do this, and went and lost.
And this is directly after Katakuri, where it was just like, oh, this dude. He goes, let me handle it. He's smiling in the mirror and just going, oh, I'm dead. And he comes back. He couldn't do that against Big Mom, obviously, but this dude is legitimately stronger than him. Don't trust Luffy. Don't trust the main character. Don't trust your captain. If you're not trusting your captain, what are you doing on his ship? What is Nami gonna do? I'll handle him. What is Nami gonna do? Let's leave Luffy. Trust him. That's so stupid.
Trusting in him exactly.
Yeah.
Like, maybe to get out of there and survive, but to take down Douglas Bullet?
Where was?
Who hasn't he taken down?
If we're going movie canon, Shiki, Tesoro, Z. Tesoro was huge in gold as well. Took him out.
He took out, quote unquote, God.
At this point, you have to trust this man. Just like Goku. What's the issue here? Legit. Why is this a talking point?
Was Frankie and all of that? I feel like he disappeared for the entire last third of the movie.
I mean, he was mostly taking care of the ship.
I mean, he was driving the boat, yeah, but then he just like I swear to God, we didn't have a single line from him after Bullet.
He
was
did Battle
introduced.
Frankie.
I feel like you're right, and I don't know what...
he was it was around the time that Fuji was fighting Zoro. He did Battle Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Frankie doesn't get him a whole lot of shine either. That's a bit of a problem.
I feel like you're right, and I don't know what's up with that.
Also, I want to point out, Chopper did nothing.
Frankie's
This
not.
entire movie.
He's the medic.
He medicked. Luffy would not have survived if it weren't for his medicing.
Yeah, but
medicked.
why did it have to be Chopper? Like, it could have
Because
literally been
What do you mean, Chopper? The ship's doctor? Yeah, I wonder why Sanji didn't patch him up. What are you talking about, dude?
I mean, Law's right there. He's the doctor of death. Why not?
Chopper. Like, it could have
Because
literally been
literally, that is Chopper's
Okay,
point.
yeah, let's. Okay.
Chopper's doctorate. Do you not remember the song?
Sanji has like a quick one-off battle with Smoker, then fucks off for the rest of the movie. Zoro fights that one. I think he's like a vice admiral who has gravity powers.
An admiral.
One of my biggest gripes with this movie is they obviously go toe-to-toe with like a lot of characters, but you know none of them are going to get a finish because they're saving that for the anime and manga. Like,
I had a problem with Sanji versus Smoker for a very long time, especially when you consider that Fuji and Zoro were going head-to-head. You know, it looked like they were about even. You can make an argument, whatever. Neither of them were really getting serious. But I had a problem that Sanji couldn't take out Vice Admiral Smoker. Then I would just went, smoke, fire. They cancel each other out. Makes a lot of sense. I didn't have a problem with it anymore. Of course they're not going to have a finish with that. They said that back with Ace. They said, we're just going to keep fighting forever. So there's no fight to that. Fuji, he has something to do. Makes sense for him to just leave. What other fights did we have? Luffy versus Mad Monk Rouge? Oh boy. Look out.
And of course they're saving it for the series. This is a one-off throwaway movie. You think they're going to have the finish to Fujitora Zoro in this movie?
For the anime and manga. Like, you have Zoro fighting that blind Zatoichi motherfucker that summons meteors. Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is really cool. And it's like, I'm leaving now. Shink, enjoy this. Damn it, again!
Yeah, by the way, I actually loved that scene just because, so Fujitora, he uses Sephiroth summons Meteor. And yeah, so Sanji cuts it in half.
Zoro.
Zoro cuts it in half, but then it's like, okay.
Oh, no, it wasn't enough.
Now what? You just, it's
Now he got 2 pieces falling to earth.
Yeah, he cuts it into 2, but now it's like, okay, now you have 2 half-sized fiery boulders coming down to destroy everything.
And then Mihawk shows up and he's like,
Yeah.
one strike, done.
Okay.
Which just a great way to show you, like, hey,
You still have a
Zoro.
long way to go.
Yup.
Okay.
That was the whole
so
point of the
I
scene.
have one grievance, and
Fantastic.
I admit that this is completely
keep
from
saying
a One
grievances.
Piece fan. To all you people out there who aren't really keeping up with One Piece but are One Piece curious, in this movie, don't expect any sort of boundary. Don't expect any. Well, I was gonna say logic.
Don't expect restraints.
Everyone does shit because they can.
Yeah.
There is no. See, here's the thing. This is what always drove me crazy. Even in Dragon Ball, with as bombastic as it was, there were limitations of what everyone could do. They had their own moves.
Didn't they go to different dimensions?
Yeah, I
while
was just
fighting?
about to say that.
Where did that come from? Where
They
did
literally
Goku's
punch each other and just go into a different dimension.
Where did Goku's freeze power come from? That has never been shown before nor since.
When did Vegeta become a Super Saiyan God?
What limitations, my guy?
Broly doesn't have limitations. He's base Tournament of Power Vegeta level, and then he becomes Super Saiyan Blue level within minutes. There's no limits there. Frieza trains for a couple months and gets 1,000,000 times stronger. What limits? We don't know what he can do, how much further he can go. Don't tell us we know what they can do. Trunks can do the Final Flash and the Big Bang attack.
Dragon Ball is literally based on we have to surpass our limits.
What?
We know what they can do?
What was done in this movie that was out of the ordinary? Luffy got a really big fist by pumping up his muscles to hurt somebody. Makes a lot of sense.
Seen before, just on a smaller scale.
Usopp's plants reacts to an impact. Could be said that it is an impact that sort of like counterattacks the impact that hits it. That's why it crumbled the. So that makes sense. What was done where you're just like, what? Fuji was shown to be able to do meteors.
When we've seen it before.
What?
Fuji didn't lift the island. We're just like, what the
Zoro / Pika, which was much bigger than a meteorite. Mihawk's is the strongest swordsman in the world. Of course he could do something like that.
He was cutting ships episode 14.
I'm trying to think. You got Zeus and Nami. Zeus is a piece of Big Mom's soul, so of course he's gonna shock a bunch of people.
Own limitations. They did certain things. There was a switch up, like especially in the Dragon Ball movies. It's like, okay, so now there's Spirit Saiyan. All right, but it's one thing.
But you're fine with that.
What drove me crazy in this movie, and it's not a gripe, it's just it makes me laugh.
Yeah, it is.
That everything is solved by some giant bombastic move done by one person, and I'm just like, is there?
The strong people do the strong thing to stop the strong thing from coming.
What was done other than the last punch?
What do you want Jewelry Bonnie to do? What do you want Dinosaur Man to do? To a meteor falling from the sky.
One punch from the big... I don't understand that. Because, again, Bullet did not take everybody out in one punch. That was a prolonged battle. And you just said that fights were not concluded. So did everything happen in one shot, or were they not concluded? Because I remember them all trying to hit Bullet and it just doing nothing, and then they all came together and did something. That's more than one shot. Because if that's the case, you could just say, oh, Gohan beat Cell in one shot. But he didn't. There was a whole prolonged battle before that.
Is there any limitation? Like, is there anyone who's weak, who's strong, who's...
Yes! Usopp!
Usopp!
100 Buggy! We saw him! The fist was coming and he did a muggy ball and it did nothing!
Oh, so you just want Krillin to fight Jiren.
What is he talking about?
Is there nobody that's weak?
They're all of different levels. That's why Luffy was the one who took out an arm almost by himself, and it took 7 people to take out another arm because they're not as strong.
I mean, you see that Usopp, his power, it requires it is not it requires strategy, and it pays off exactly as it's supposed to.
That I get that. But when I see Nami coming down with a giant thunderstorm, granted, I don't know where she got that from, but it's like...
She got
of course
it during
not.
the time skip. She has like this thing that can summon like weather bubbles.
Yeah.
But it's just
No,
like...
no, that was Zeus. It had a face. It's from Big Mom. See, Kaiser is caught up, didn't even contradict that. Wasn't paying attention either then or now.
That was
That was literally what it was. And it took out like, what, 8 people of weakness? It took out Foxy, Big and Deal. It's not taking out Fuji.
Weather bubbles.
Yeah.
But it's just, she's like, all right, hammer down, and she just drops it, and then just...
No, she got that on like the Ghost Island, didn't she? Or like
I can't remember where she gets the climb attack.
Skypia. Or
It's
something?
like it's hard for me to feel like there are
Water
any stakes in this
7.
movie at all when literally anyone can just OP power over it.
Like Broly? Why are you believing that Broly, this dude coming out of nowhere, is fighting Tournament of Power Vegeta? Even base. Oh, he's just getting stronger as he fights. Who did Nami take out? Who did Jewelry Body take out? They all got destroyed by Bullet. X-Drake did nothing. Basil Hawkins did nothing. You know who did something? The people at the end. And they barely did something. They did something combined. The number 2 in the Revolutionary Army couldn't take out an arm. He had to do it with other people. What are you talking about limitations? Buggy didn't do anything.
Like even in the very end when they're trying to formulate the plan to take down Bullet, it's like, okay, so what Luffy's older brother, what are the limits of his power?
He can do pretty much everything Ace can do, but he also knows hockey.
Pause. Yeah. He doesn't know Ace and he doesn't know hockey. So what do we know what he can do? He can shoot fire. He can fly. He got the Dragon Claw.
What are the limitations of Broly's power?
What? What are the limitations of Beerus? We haven't seen that. What are the limitations of Jiren? What are the limitations of Toppo? He's a god of destruction out of nowhere. He's got god of destruction energy. Okay.
But we know what they can do.
Oh, I'm just faster than light. Oh, I'm a Super Saiyan, and now I'm a Super Saiyan 2. Out of nowhere. This took Gohan years. This took Vegeta years. I'm just a Super Saiyan 2 out of nowhere. We know their limitations.
Which I guess Ace never did, or just never
I
demonstrated.
think Ace did.
But just didn't demonstrate.
Yeah. I mean, the only opportunity
He
he
lost
ever
the
had, he wasn't
Blackbeard.
able to.
Yeah.
I like maybe this is just me being an old anime fan, but one of the things that I loved about like big bombastic fights like early DBZ and whatnot is that there were like between the Galick Gun and the Kamehameha was one of the most memorable points of Dragon Ball for me. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Pause. Why? It was just a blast fighting a blast. We don't know the properties of the blast. It's just, oh, they're basically just doing 2 blasts. If it hits, it's gonna destroy the planet.
Hey, why were they going to Namek? Was it to wish people back that couldn't have been wished back before? Because Piccolo was dead? Hey, how about this? How about Goku goes, I'm just gonna kill myself to kill you, Kaioken 1000.
What?
We're not doing that, huh?
The most emotionally, it's just, I'm strong, I'm gonna do a blast. Oh no, I'm not strong enough. Let me just summon more power. Here I go, and he summons more power and he beats him. It's just 2 blasts colliding from 2 strong people. I don't care.
And after that, Vegeta just came down and went, I could still kill y'all. What were the limits of his power?
He didn't really break the monkey out of nowhere. He brought the ball out of nowhere.
Oops. Let me actually go back a little bit.
Points of Dragon Ball for me. Period.
Yeah.
Period. Because it is ultimate versus ultimate. This is the
Except, go ahead. Except when we go to the next arc and the next dude that's ultimate is literally 500 times stronger.
And wasn't that Bullet versus Luffy where he goes ultimate fist?
Literally
Y'all said this. So what's the difference?
There's always escalation. You have an ultimate, and then that ultimate becomes nothing. You go, oh, I beat the younger Tagoro, so there's nothing left for me. Oh, he was like a B. We got A's and S's coming through here. What are you talking about?
This is what it's coming down to. None of that exists in this movie.
Yeah.
It comes down to Bullet and Luffy!
What are you... Are we just forgetting when they were flying around and punching each other and talking and... What... Do you think that he came out of the robot and then just one punch, friendship, done?
What are we doing?
It was Ultimate versus Ultimate. He went gear fourth in it when Douglas was a human just standing there and tried to hit him and nothing happened. So you go, okay, the Ultimate didn't work. What's next?
It's coming down to. None of that exists in this movie.
Yeah, and that's because, and I'll be honest, this movie is more focused on Flash than substance.
That's true, yeah.
100%.
What are you
This
talking
movie is
about,
called-
Goomba? You had Ultimate Fist versus King Kong Bullet.
Yeah,
Something.
look,
Why
Nothing!
would I laugh? That's
Nothing to
literally
say.
what-
He just shook his head.
That's Ultimate versus Ultimate.
That was Luffy's...
Up until that point, we didn't know about Vegeta. Just like Bullet. So why is that ultimate quote-unquote limitations better than this one quote-unquote limitations? Oh, quote-unquote unlimitations.